Alright guys, I know this might look different, like way advanced in an update. Way advanced from the last video, but that video was almost a month ago or so. Oh wow, I actually broke my watch finally, or broke it all the way. That bottom button's supposed to fall off. Anyway, this is just a, I guess, status video. I have about 5 hours worth of videos. I got a video I have to go through and edit for this thing. I'll be honest, I haven't recorded the last week and a half or 2 weeks because I just got to a point where I couldn't stop and record anymore. I just had to go. But yeah, some things different. There's well, the motor's in. It runs. I'll crank it up here at the end. Dual electric fans. This is the fan that came on it. This is the fan that was in my 91. That's part of my snorkel. That's a Spectre intake adapter because the Rain-X has a triangle bolt pattern, and then the intake boot comes off of that. And a lot of people, when they do a different intake, just bolt it on right here. I didn't want to do that. So I got that, plus I got the Spectre tube, 3-inch tube filter. And then I got some, I thought they were metal, which is why I bought them. They're not, they're plastic. But I got some of the Spectre, you know, AutoZone, auto parts store angles that will give me all the way to outside the fender. And then I'm going to go PVC all the way up. PVC is what I'm going to buy tomorrow after work. There's an overflow bottle. New motor mounts are in. These are military battery terminals. New brake caliper that I got to put on. Old bump stop. Alternator is relocated. And AC is, where did I put my phone? I don't know where I put my phone. I said this isn't going to be edited. Yep. Well. There it is. I'm just going to leave that in there. I'm not going to worry with it. Oh, nope, wrong button. The belt that I ended up needing, you can't really see. But anyway, it's a 70, I got the 78 and a half. I ended up needing a 78 inch. But you don't want to get one exactly the size, so I got a 78 and a half. Like I said, it's just bolted on normally. It's got washers on it. I bought a spacer that I was going to cut down and make it work. I couldn't find it. This is, the back bracket is actually off of a old garage door. This U piece right here, it's off of an old garage door support. The part that goes where a chain would go or the worm gear would go, that actually bolts to the door. And it was actually the perfect size. I bolted it to the bottom and then bolted it through that hole in the back. I'm going to carry some spare belts with me because I still don't know if it's lined up perfectly. But I put one more washer on it, and it was too far forward. It was fixing to fall off this idler pulley. Overflow bottle, bought one from AutoZone. I decided to do that besides using the one out of the other Jeep. You'll probably hear about that when I get to it, but when I put the motor in, I had problems. It wouldn't crank. I did a compression test. Cylinder 2 had 30 psi. And then I did a leak down test and realized it was leaking out of the exhaust valve, so I did a head swap. Took the head off of the Rain-X motor. The high output head is right here. I wish I could have used the high output head because then I could actually swap over the PCM and stuff later on if I wanted to go fully high output. I can still do that later on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use that head though because it actually hasn't rained yet, but it's supposed to rain Sunday. I don't know if I'll get that inside and get it somewhere to where I can rebuild it. And if it gets rust in it, I'm just not worrying about it. But So I did a head. I swapped the head to the Ranex head. Still wouldn't fire. The timing was off on the cam gear. The cam gear, besides it being where they were facing each other, it was actually 180 degrees off. So I just, besides taking the timing gear and flipping it around, I just put the timing mark here, cranked it over, still wouldn't crank, put the distributor in the correct way. I looked up exactly, what exactly way it needed to be. Turned the oil pump, got the distributor in, ran. Thank you. I ordered I binged that night and the next day and ordered all my parts. That's why I've been putting them all on the radiator and everything else. But then the next day I got it and tried to rev it up, wouldn't rev up. Advanced the distributor one tooth, runs like a top now. I actually, before I put the lift on the front, I drove it down the street and I was fine. Yeah, motor's in, transmission's bolted up. I got going on in the front here. I got 5.5 inch Rubicon Express coil springs. Those were kind of a pain to get in. I got the core 4x4 adjustable control arms, upper and lowers. I got the lowers adjusted to 17, the uppers 15.5. That's for a 6-inch lift, which these springs are probably going to give me about 6 inches of lift. Rubicon Express is known for their springs giving you more lift. But after I get the after I get the tie-in brackets with the winch plate on there, it's going to drop down a little bit with the winch. I got WJ steering. This actually came in the pile of parts that we got with both Jeeps, so I used that. I don't have anything adjusted. I'm hoping all of these castle nuts will go on. I stole the castle nuts from the old steering because the steering, these didn't have any castle nuts on them at all, which I was kind of ticked off about. And I don't know if the threads are completely good. I might be changing that U-joint. I squirted a whole bunch of grease in it. It doesn't seem to be loose anymore. It wasn't that loose in the first place. I still got U-joints to replace it with. The rear drive shaft, when I put that in, I dropped the cap off of it, and the needle bearings went everywhere. I put all the needle bearings back in. I still might change that U-joint out. The exhaust, I got a little U-connector right there. I'm just going to get clamps and clamp it down. I'm not going to worry about welding it right now. All this stuff in the front end is loose. The control arms aren't tight because I'm going to do that when I get down on the ground. I cut off all of my connectors for my trans lines, and I just used 2 fuel line clamps where I had them on the hoses. Because the normal hoses were rotted, they were going to fall apart. That should hold. I'm going to carry an extra hose with extra clamps. Those are energy suspension. Those are energy suspension universal bump stops that actually have a 3/8 by 16 pitch stud on them. The threaded hole in the Jeep is actually an M10 metric nut, but the 3/8 by 16 thread pitch and bolt size is just a little bit smaller, and the thread pitch is close enough it threads into each other and it actually gets tight. I still put Loctite on it anyway, but I don't think they're going anywhere. That's what I could get locally. The track bar is an old track bar. If you look back at my old videos, I put a cheap eBay track bar on my green Jeep while I was waiting on Rubicon Express to get back to me for the bushing sizes, replacement bushings for their track bar. I'm putting this track bar on this. What else? The bumper tie-in brackets that I got were ARES, I believe, fabrication TJ to XJ bumper adapters, so you can actually put a TJ bumper on the front of this. A stubby TJ bumper. It can't be one of the bumpers that go out and go up. It has to be a completely flat bumper. I had to buy I had to buy another jack. I got one of the nice Harbor Freight jacks. It's the 3-ton, low profile, high reach. That jack is actually pretty amazing. It pumps up super fast. I like it. And plus it's got a pedal pump, kind of like the heavy duty shop jacks have. They have a pedal pump. What else? When I put the head on, I put new lifters in it. I did not get push rods because they only had 11 and I needed 12, and this was a midnight stop. So I just didn't worry about it. I used the lifters and the rockers out of the Rain-X motor because this is the Rain-X head, so I just went ahead and used that with new lifters. I put assembly grease in it, whatever. The motor oil I'm going to use with this right now, I just have STP in there with a little bit of the zinc additive from Lucas. Not much, just a little bit. The motor, I'm going to run this through it. I'm going to run some cleaner through it because the oil that was in it was really thick, almost like gear oil that came out of it. I'm going to run this in there, run an engine cleaner through there, kind of we use at work, drain everything out of it, and then I'm actually going to use 1030 Rotella with that zinc additive, and I'm going to run Rotella in this motor, just because. What else? Tires. These are the tires that I decided on. 33 by 1050. They were road something MTs. They're from eBay. Road Venture, road something of another MTs. But when they came with Centura, Terrana MTs is what they're called. The reason I got them is because they're cheap. For some, I was gonna get some Ironman MTs, which are based off the BFG KO2s, MT2s, TA2s. I think TA2s, the ones that have the threads that a tread that does that, then goes up, then does that, and goes all the way up. I think it's a TA is what they call it. Maybe it is a, I don't know. Maybe it is a KO2. But I like these because they had the thickest tread depth out of all of them, and I like the pattern. I mounted these actually on my old stock steel wheels that I had on my green Jeep when I first bought it. I actually have two sets of these rims. A guy at my buddy's work, or a guy at my dad's work, had a Wrangler, had a TJ, and he gave us his takeoffs, his old stock wheels, which happen to be the same as mine. So I have a full set of these wheels. Some of them are painted black. The other ones are still aluminum. I've decided to use those wheels besides aluminum wheels because these have just a little bit more back spacing on it. So that'll help from rubbing. Just a standard cheapy $70 eBay radiator. I hope it holds up. That plastic's kind of flimsy. Think. So far, I think that's it. I just wanted to show a quick update. I'm probably going to show an update when I actually get it running and driving, or get it driving anyway. I have a triple gauge thing over here, water, oil. I don't have the oil hooked up yet. I have the water hooked up. Voltage, I don't have that hooked up yet. This is actually a GM oil cooler that came with the Jeeps. The guy we got them from used to work at my work, and he got that to put on the 91. I might put it on this one. I need to carry it with me tomorrow. I don't know if I want to cut all that rubber hose I just made. I might do it later. Yeah, this is just a quick, well, I say it's quick, it's 13 minutes, but it's just a really quick rambling video. Yeah, there's all the Spectre stuff. Lots of parts. Extended brake lines, I need to put those on. I got just rough country extended brake lines because I could get this quick because they're kind of sort of local. They're only about an hour or so away, so I got them quick. Bought a vise too from Harbor Freight to do the U-joints with. Plus, I've been needing a vise here forever. I need to stop using that wooden tool bench thing. Well, that's nice. That came off, but I don't care. It's just a sticker. I guess I'll crank it up because I can't think of anything else at this second. The winch that I got was a Smitty built 9.5K winch. But say this was a quick video. It's not that quick. Lug nuts I got the same lug nuts like I got for the Sonoma, the red plated acorn nuts, except I didn't get acorn nuts on my Jeep. I got my Now Sonoma, I got Acorn spline lug nuts. These are just standard red. They weren't that expensive. They were the same price as the normal ones. I mean, I got a new hood cable too, because the hood cable on this was garbage. Yeah, it's not going to be as loud as it was, because it was straight pipe out the downpipe, but now it's actually, other than the leaks, it's going through that Flowmaster. It's going through that. I hate this. The dash lights don't like working on this. I hope the headlights still work. Yeah, it's going through a cherry bomb. I still have to get the front drive shaft, but yeah, alternator's charging, even though you can't really tell because this, oh yeah, you can, right down there. These gauges are kind of like the old GM gauges, and some of the old GMT 400 gauges read low. I know my buddy's 95 does. It's not as loud as it was. I kind of liked it loud, but electric fans are on a switch on the center console. There's already I'm going to take my 42-inch light bar I got on my Jeep down there. I'm going to mount it on the roof, and I'm going to run the wiring down the snorkel. So yeah, I tried to think of everything I could. It's kind of hard to remember everything. I'm kind of jumbling everywhere. Definitely needs more transmission fluid. I dumped a lot of it on the ground. When I went for the test drive, I put some in it. I thought it was good. It's still kind of slipping. I hope I didn't mess it up. I really hope I didn't mess it up. But it's still really low. I got a big thing of transmission fluid I'm going to put in it. I hope I can find it. Yeah, there it is right there. Shoot. Oh, I got a BDS. Some of y'all might know what that actually stands for. BDS suspensions. If you really know what it stands for, you know what it stands for. I'll put it in the description, or you can look at my Instagram. Honestly, if y'all would have been following my Instagram, y'all would have seen all these updates as they happened. That's honestly where you're going to get my fastest updates. I know people aren't into it. They like videos better. The videos will eventually come out, but if I'm doing something, you're going to know about it first on Instagram, because that's where I post stuff. And then sometimes the same day, sometimes a week later, sometimes a month or so later, I'll have a video on it. It just depends on how long it takes me to procrastinate to edit the video. But yeah, this is a transfer case drop kit, because those are 5.5-inch coil springs in the front. The rear is 4.5-inch rough country leafs. I'm probably going to have to, I really don't want to put a block on the back. I'm either going to have to probably put a 1-inch block or a shackle in the back. I'd rather have a shackle, but if I can't get that shackle bolt out, I'm not going to mess with it, because I don't feel like cutting a hole in the floor to grab the nut. If it's not going to break loose, I'm just going to put a block on it. I'm going to hate myself, but I don't want to deal with cutting the frame and getting the bolt out right now, because that's a pain in the butt. I could just put a block in quick, fast, in a hurry. But when I lift the back more, I'm going to have a transfer case drop. The drive shaft's not long enough for that. I think that's it. This is this is for the manual gauge. The actual dash gauge right there on the back of the head, there's a threaded spot that's only on 96 and back, 4.0s, and that's actually for the dash gauge. There's a little sensor that threads into the head. This one is for, this water outlet is actually for the 97 and above. Well, actually, I think all high output motors have this, because this is actually where the computer gets the temperature. In the Rain-X, they gets the temperature through a block plug in the side of the block. So I had to take the block plug out of this block and thread the other one in there. But this is what I'm using. I just took this off the other head, and I'm using it as my manual gauge, or for my gauge. And that's actually kind of cool, because I can take the temperature that's at the back of the head, which is going to be the hottest part of the motor, on the gauge cluster. You know how accurate that is. Plus, I can take the true temperature coming out of the head into the radiator. So that'll kind of give me an all around the motor point of view. I think that's it. This video is 20 minutes long. That's longer than I was going to plan on it being. I just planned to come in here 5 minutes, show it to y'all, be done. What I have left to do, like I said, I got to button up the front, tighten all that stuff down, put the extended brake lines on in the front. In the rear, I'd need to put them on too, but I might just, you know, kink down that line again. It's already kinked down once, but I'm honestly probably going to put them on. Bleed the brakes after that. I need to put those TJ to XJ RS5 bumper brackets on. I need to bolt my mile marker winch plate to that, then bolt my winch to that. Put my military terminals on. Cut the front fender right here, because on all later model Jeeps, the newer body style Jeeps don't have from like here down. My green Jeep from the factory doesn't have from here down, but 96 and back has this piece that goes forward. Cut that off right there, and then cut the fenders, and then cut and fold the rear so I have more flex. I think that's it. That's just about everything. That's for the manual oil line. I'm just leaving that there right now while I'm doing, you know, tests and stuff, and then I'm going to put this one on. I put it inside a vacuum hose because I didn't want anything to happen to it. I think that's it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I got to move the vacuum bottle thing. The vacuum ball. It's not a ball on this one. It's a vacuum pill. I'll call it a vacuum pill, or a vacuum double D, like double D tubes, tubing, like what's on the steering shaft. That I need to move up there. The one on my green Jeep is actually a physical ball. That one I moved up to there when I put my bumper in. I'm trying to think of anything else. I don't think there's anything else. I'm tripping over everything. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and upload this video tonight. So y'all can have an update of everything that I've been doing. I've been working my butt off for the past 2 weeks trying to get this thing done. I got one more weekend, and then next week, and then Saturday's the off-road event. It looks like I'm gonna get done. I mean, practically all I have left is to tidy all that stuff up, put the snorkel on, do the brakes, change that caliper. Bro, do the brake lines. That caliper's already new. This caliper needs to be replaced because it was locked up. Yeah, I'm going to stop prolonging this video and go ahead and finish it with, we'll talk to y'all later. I'll probably have a video this weekend because I hope to actually have it driving with the tires on it. Well, to be honest, I'm not going to have the tires on it because it's not going to fit back under here with those tires on it at all. It's going to be iffy getting it out with those 31s with these bars. So yeah. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Bye.